Now, the next person is Vivien Maidaborn. Viv is well known in the not-for-profit sector. She was the past CEO for a long time of the community development organisation CCS Disability Action. But her great claim to fame is that she has wonderful ideas and strategies of how the not-for-profit sector can work with the business sector. So, Viv, we're looking forward to your perspective.
Thank you, Mai. It's a real pleasure to be here and a real honour to follow Helen's comments just then. So my topic was the NGO perspective on working with government, and to tell you the truth, I thought about a long list of complaints and concerns I could make, and I then thought about the small areas of real partnership and strategic wisdom that flare up from time to time between people in government and people in the community sector. And to be honest, I figured both of those approaches were pretty last century. And what I am really passionate about talking about, and I think it's already arrived in the room today, is an invitation to move on from all of our thinking about the silos of how we understand society. I'm guessing that no matter what sector you come from in this room today, you're considering substantive and fundamental change. We're all focused on being more effective and smart, and in the spirit of welcoming that change, I want to assert that the real opportunity for solving the tough problems of our time is in thinking between and across our sectors and actually creating entirely new ways of working together. After 30 years of working in the public, community and human rights organisations of New Zealand, I've reached the astonishing and personally challenging conclusion that our current level of approaching social and economic problems is failing and failed. And it's easy to see. Government contracting of services with community organisations is at best driving the numbers of unsustainable small organisations who cannot hope to deliver quality social impact results for New Zealand, and at worst is punitive and bullying. The community sector, on the whole, has itself failed to grow or leverage its own collective capital, to undertake research and development of new social innovation, and nor has it developed scalable solutions to key issues like poverty or safe, healthy families. The community sector in New Zealand, I hate to say this is kind of like confession, is risk averse and better at organising social problems than solving them. So business nationally and internationally has failed to balance the drive for profit and wealth creation for shareholders with the needs of the environment, the people who work in the organisations, or indeed the communities that they exist within. Most of the time, most of the people think of all of this whole mix of systems and ecologies, as someone else's problem. The Charities Commission tells us in 2011, registered charities in New Zealand contributed $14.2 billion to the economy. That's bigger than the construction industry. So it's in no one's interest for this sector to fail to adjust to the current economic and social environment. So what can we offer each other at this time? On Anzac Day last week, I was listening to author David Strong, ex-soldier and peacekeeper who worked in places like Bosnia and East Timor, and he said, in peacekeeping, the soft things are the hard things. I was really taken by that comment. What are the soft things? The ability to listen so deeply people feel heard and understood to such a depth they open to change. To find new ways of connecting across difficult situations. To see each other new. To capture the threads of hope that exist in a war-torn country and build and grow those threads so more hope and more energy and focus for change arrives. As I listened, I thought, this is the daily work of the community sector at its best here in Aotearoa. This is what we know about and can offer you. From you, the government, business, education, philanthropy, We need engaged respect and partnerships based on trust so that together we can grow a new sector, a sector that is the best of all of us, where positive social impact is as important as profit, and we see these two things supporting each other, not being oppositional. There's lots of new names about this emerging space: social business, social capital markets, social impact, but whatever its name, it will take all of us working together differently. Helen mentioned the tragedy of the commons, and what an incredible phrase, because I think we've forgotten that when capitalism was invented, a powerful part of it was what it offered the commons. So let's take the strategic question. What would a blossoming commons ask of each of us? What would each of us bring to the table? What structures and conditions would best grow common good in Aotearoa? And of course, how would we measure that? This is a new context where society is the market, that they're not separate, and social outcomes the measure. At its best, it combines effective practice from across all of our areas of deep knowledge. This will not just be business adding values to their current work or community becoming more business-like, but a merging of the relationship between profit and social impact, so every organisation has at least that double bottom line. I believe the great hope of capitalism in the next 20 years will be in this new focus on healthy ecosystems, using the wealth of previously siloed sectors in a way that makes scale and rapid solutions to tough problems possible. Over the past few years, I've heard ministers and government officials repeatedly talk about the fact there are too many community organisations in New Zealand. And indeed, there are too many organisations funded by government. But actually, community organisations are the way citizens organise around their passions and aspirations for belonging in community. How can there ever be too many? It is absolutely serendipitous timing to be invited to talk at the launch of the Public Law Toolbox. So may I finish just by congratulating you for a book with the vision and depth to resource this new collaborative complex pathway. To remind us that understanding the systems and processes of government is empowering, and that every one of us has the right to question, inquire and engage of the government and the law. I hope every single community organisation in New Zealand finds this book and resources itself to be active and passionate in achieving its vision of Aotearoa New Zealand society. Thank you.